At this time, we're ready to begin our Northeast Regional Katahdin show. We need yearling rams to the check-in area. Katahdin, yearling rams to the check-in area, please.
Well, good morning out here, and a really nice way to start your Katahdin show out here with your yearling rams. And I think we have three really nice ones. We're opting to start with a ram that presents me with a little more extension through that front third of his skeleton, one really long from that 13th rib on back. That's his major advantage, really a long loin, long hip in this shape. One that's longer than flank to flank, and he's really deceiving. You get over top of him, he's got some turn to that rib, he's got some thickness down his top. one that's maybe just a touch taller than I prefer to see him out here, but I think when you put everything together, just a nice kind of a class winner. We come to a ram I really appreciate in terms of mass and dimension here in second. He is carrying a little more condition compared to the contemporary, going to start the class, but one when you get over top of him, really a big top in his sheep, one that maybe loses out in a little bit in terms of length from that hind saddle compared to the class winner, one that maybe if we were to change him ever so slightly, he gets a little bolder about his front end than my class winner does. Round out the class, just a greener type of ram, one you appreciate for straightness of lines. We just need a little more to him today to be able to compete with two stout rams ahead. Congratulations.
Our next class will be senior ram lambs. Placing on the class of yearling rams for the Katahdin show, first place goes to entry number 1913, Triple Legacy SRS 470. Salem Run Farms, Leslie Raber, Sabatis, Maine. That ram weighed 280. Second place to entry number 2328, Rhodes 2029, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. That ram weighed 288. And third place to entry 6071, Michaela Crafty, Winchendon, Massachusetts. That ram weighed 137. Now showing senior ram lambs.
Another really nice class as we get out here in the buck. We're going to start with just easily the most complete, the most stylish ram out here. I love the extension up through the front third. I like the angles about this ram. One that when you set him into motion, he moves real free and easy. And the best advantage he has, he maintains himself in motion. I think one that's just really fluid. He looks as good on the move as he does stuck. He's really good in terms of his balance. He's really thick down that top. Has plenty of length from that 13th rib on back. Really a wide sprung type of sheep. I like this one an awful lot. We come to the ram here in second. Really a stout, stout, massive type of a ram. One that when you get over top of him, really a big top, really a big rib. Maybe not quite as extended as the buck we're seeing in front. One that's maybe not quite as athletic when we set him into motion, but I don't think we can pick too many holes in him. Really a thick-made, kind of heavy-muscled ram. Come to the ram here in 3. Certainly love the extension, love the length, the hind saddle. He's probably the longer loined out here in this class. With that being said, he's the greener to the touch today. He doesn't want to act quite as well out here. It's hard to get a good read when we set him into motion, but I think one that really like the length pieces in him. I think there's a lot of good in this ram. We'll see him down the road. Congratulations.
Our next class will be for Senior Champion and Reserve Senior Champion Ram. Placing on the Senior Ram Lamb class, first place goes to entry 1914, Salmon Run Farms, 480. Power Drive, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. That ram weighing 220. Second place, first in the junior show, to 2218, Hanscom, 099, Big Jim. Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. That ram weighed 240. And third place to 2329, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Ram weighing 198.
Four really nice individuals as we come out here for your senior champion ram and the Katahdins. I think two really nice yearling bucks, and they're correct in their makeup. They got some meat and muscle to them, and you got two really nice fall bucks that offer a lot of power and stuff. Today, for me, it was a pretty easy decision. The fall ram lamb that wins his class, he's going to be your senior champion. I think he's just really, really good. For reserve, it does get a little bit closer. Today, as we say here and analyze, today we're going to go ahead and we're going to use that yearling buck for reserve senior champion. I think he's there, taking nothing away from fall buck. There's a lot of things I like about him as well. Congratulations.
Our open show senior champion goes to entry 1914. Salmon Run 480 Power Drive, Salmon Run Farms, Sabattis, Maine. The reserve senior champion goes to entry 1913, the Yearling. Salmon Run 470 Triple Legacy, Salmon Run Farms, Sabattis, Maine. Now ready for intermediate ram lambs. Judging the Katahdin show today is Alex Wolf of Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Along with his wife Melissa and their 3 children, they own and operate Wolf Brothers Livestock, where they raise natural coloreds and club lambs.
another really nice class as we get out here. And the buck we're leading off again, just really good on the move. As we set him into motion, he stays wide and true. Really an extended type of sheep, one with some added length, the hind saddle. Really a big top in the sheep as well. I think just an easy place for me to start. Coming to Ram here in second. Love the rib, love the top shape. He's got the wider loin of this class and the wider hip, and I really appreciate him for that. Yeah, he is giving up a little bit in terms of length compared to the contemporaries standing around him, but with that, he percentages out rather well for me. If we were to change this buck and go ahead and try to lead off with him, I need to change his back legs. He gets just a notch more straight, especially as we set him into motion. I'd like to change and give him a little more set to that hock to really be able to drive. Coming to the Ram here in three. Again, really extended type of sheep, one that I appreciate for the length, a really well-balanced type of ram, one that's given up a little in terms of top shape compared to the two rams standing directly ahead of him. Then coming to the next couple rams, really like the eye appeal off the side, extremely long body type of sheep, well enough built type of sheep. They're just greener to the handle today. They don't have quite that ribbon dimension we're seeing in the contemporaries going to start the class, but a really nice kind of a class. Congratulations.
Now ready for Katahdin Junior Ram Lambs, placing on the class of intermediate Ram Lambs. First place went to entry 1915, Salmon Run 626, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. And that ram weighed 185. Second place to 2330, Rhodes 2164, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. That ram weighing 185. Third place to entry number 1916, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. That ram weighed 165. First in the junior show to entry 1088, Salmon Run 492, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. And fifth place, second in the junior to 1089, Salmon Run 607, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio.
a really intriguing class as we get out here in your junior rams. And I think this top pair, they're really different in their type and kind, but it gets pretty close for me. The buck we're starting with, I think he just shows me more future. He's the greener of the rams, really extended through that front third. I think he's got a bright future ahead. Extremely long from that 13th rib back. And the major advantage he has is the way he's built through his front end. He's got the right angles to that shoulder and the way he comes out of his neck. The ram in second, the one that when I put my hands on him, I really like back through that loin. I think he's really big in his loin, really big in his hip. He's level through that hip. Maybe a little bit more pinch there, just chine bone. But the biggest thing for me is we get a little straight in that shoulder. I'd like to change that. I'd like to move his leg forward just a little bit, which allows his neck to come out the top side and really gets him to be able to move. I forecast as he goes on, that could get a little worse and he's not going to travel quite as free and easy. I think there's a lot of really good in that sheep. This is where I'm going to put him today. Come to the rams here in 3 and 4, just a little greener to the touch for me. They don't have near the pounds and the mass that we're seeing ahead of them, but a really nice class all the way through. Congratulations.
Once we get those weights, then we'll be ready for a pair of ram lambs. Placing on the junior ram lamb class, first place went to entry 1917, Salmon Run 628, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. That ram weighed 153. Second place to entry 2219, Hanscom 107, Sir, Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. That ram weighed 163. And third place to entry 6074, Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts, and that ram weighed 67. Fourth place to entry 1279, Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. Placing on the pair of ram lambs, first place goes to Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. Second place to Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. Third place to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And fourth place to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts. We're now ready to show for Open Show Junior Champion and Reserve Junior Champion ram.
again, as we get out here for your junior champion, I think the quality's really deep out here in this show, and all four of these rams have a lot of good to offer the breed. Today for me, the intermediate ram lamb, I think he's awful nice. He's going to go ahead and be your junior champion. We're going to follow him up with a first place junior for reserve. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Junior Champion goes to the first place out of the Intermediate Ram Lamb class, entry 1915, Salmon Run 626, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. The Reserve Champion came from the Junior Ram Lamb class, entry 917, Salmon Run 628, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. Now ready to show for Open Show Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Ram. We need the two rams that Parker Hanscom showed, 2218 and 2219 in the makeup area, and also the rams that Audrey Julian and Lauren Julian showed, 1088, 1089 in the makeup area as well, to show following our Grand Champion Ram selection for Junior Show Champion Ram and Junior Show Reserve Champion Ram.
As we come out here for your overall champion, all four of these rams are really excellent for their breed. I think they're all really sound. They got plenty of meat and muscle. They got some base width and some thickness. Today, for me, I think there's one that just kind of jumps out at me. Your senior ram is going to go ahead and be your champion overall. We're going to follow up with a junior champion for reserve. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Grand Champion Ram goes to entry 1914. 1914 was from the Senior Ram Lamb class, Salmon Run 480 Power Drive, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. The Open Show Reserve Grand Champion was our Junior Champion, entry 1915 from the Intermediate Ram Lamb class, Salmon Run 626, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. Our next class will be for Junior Show Champion and Reserve Champion Ram, so we'll need those four animals that I announced out in the ring. Our junior show champion ram goes to entry 2218 out of the senior ram lamb class. Hanscom 099 Big Jim, Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. The junior show reserve champion ram came from our intermediate ram lamb class, entry 1088, Salmon Run 492, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. Salmon Run Farm of Sept, Maine offers awards for our grand and reserve grand champion ram here in the junior show. We're now ready for Katahdin Yearling ewes. Katahdin Yearling ewes to the ring, please. morning we're showing Katahdin sheep. The Katahdin is an American breed of hair sheep that was developed in the 1950s on the Peel Farm in Maine. It is the result of crossing hair sheep from the Caribbean with various British breeds, especially the Suffolk. In the 1970s, the Wiltshire Horn was introduced to add size and carcass quality to the mix, but eventually selection was against those horns. The Katahdin is the most numerous registered breed of sheep in the United States at this time.
a really nice way to start the female show. And we come out here, and I think we got a pair of yearling ewes on top that sort themselves apart for me. I think the ewe that we're going to go ahead and lead off with, one that when you get off to the side, she is beautiful. She's got a great profile. I love the extension. Really a big top in her, really a big middle. I think she looks like a female. Just a really, really nice kind of ewe. Maybe she's carrying just a touch more condition. We're talking late in the year, but I think that's an awful, awful good one to start with. Coming to you here in second, and again, close decision. I think she's the fresher of the two, and I really appreciate her for that. I think she might be a notch better in her breastplate compared to the class winner. One that when you get behind her, just not quite as much natural turn to that rib, but I think they're really comparable. Two really, really nice ewes to start with. Coming to you here in three, and certainly one you appreciate for elegance. Really extended, really tall at the point of the shoulder. One that handles with adequate length from that 13th rib on back and has some thickness to her. Just doesn't have quite the power we're seeing in two directly ahead. You here in four, I like a lot. You get over top of her, a big top in this sheep. Really a lot of natural stifle muscle, and when you get in behind her, she balances up really well. We're just shortening up compared to the three contemporaries standing directly ahead, losing out on some of that elegance. Kind of the same story here in five, excuse me. One that's just a little past prime in terms of her condition, but I think one when you put your hands on her, really a big top in this sheep. She's got some muscle shape, really a well-balanced ewe. One that, again, just doesn't have that extra stretch we're finding some ahead. A really nice class all the way down. Congratulations to the exhibitors.
Once we get the weight on those first three, then we will come back with a pair of yearling ewes. Placing on the yearling ewe class, first place went to entry 1919. Salmon Run 350, Ain't Misbehavin' Barbie. Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine, that ewe weighed 233. Second place to entry number 1918. Raber 108, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine, that ewe weighed 208. Third place to entry 1920, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine, that ewe weighed 197. Fourth place to 2331, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Fifth place to entry 2332, also Tim Rhodes. Sixth place, first in the junior show to 2220, Hanscom, 087, Beauty, Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. Second in the junior show to 2221, Hanscom, 082, Snow White, Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. Eighth place to entry number 6072, Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. 9 to 6073, Michaela Craffey. And 10th place, third in the junior show, to Craffey 69992, entry 4194, Rebecca Southwick, Jaffrey, New Hampshire. Placing on the pair of yearling ewes, first place went to Salmon Run Farms, Sabattis, Maine. Second place to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Third place to Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. And fourth place to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts. Now showing senior ewe lambs. Senior ewe lambs are coming into the ring now. After this class, we will show open show senior champion and reserve senior champion ewe.
a really nice class of senior ewe lambs out here, and you were going to start with just super elegant through that front third. I think one with a longer spine, longer from that 13th rib on back. Really a lot of power in this female as well. For as feminine as she is, really straight in her lines. I like the balance of this sheep. She's an awful nice one to lead off the class. Come to use here in 2 and 3, and you got a little give and take. We're opting to go with you with a little more extension. One that when I put my hands on her, she's actually got the wider loin and the wider hip when you view her over the top. One with some turn of that rib, some extra femininity up front. That's the way I'm opting to go. I like the ewe here in 3 an awful lot too. She's got a big rib shape. I like the balance from the side. Again, a little straighter up to the front. When we put our hands on her, not quite as neat at her chine bone right there behind her shoulders on the top side of her skeleton as you analyze her to the ewe directly ahead of her. But one that you can't fall an awful too much more than that when you put your hands on her. Really big from behind. Coming to you here in 4. Really a cool camouflage color to this sheep. One with some added condition today. She's just getting a little too heavy for me, carrying all that condition up front, throws off her balance. But I think a really big top in this female, and it's kind of surprising you put your hands on her. Really a long loin in this female as well. One we just need to peel off. I don't think she has quite the future. Rounding out the class, we got another ewe that's just a little more compacted through the front third. I'd like to stretch her out and make her just a notch more elegant, like the rib, like the turn. Just one that we need to stretch out ever so slightly. Congratulations.
Our next class will be for Senior Champion and Reserve Senior Champion U. Results from the Senior ewe lamb class. First place goes to entry 1921. Salmon Run 391, Aphrodite. Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. That ewe weighed 170. Second place, first in the junior portion of the show, to entry 1086. Salmon Run 393, Audrey Julian. Mantua, Ohio. That ewe weighing 160. Third place to entry 2223, Hanschkem, and that is second in the junior show. Hanschkem 104, Anna. Parker Hanschkem, New Vineyard, Maine. That ewe weighing 163. Fourth place to 2333, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And fifth place, third in the junior, to 2222, Parker Hanschkem of New Vineyard, Maine.
Well, congratulations again to the Katahdin exhibitors. 4 really nice females out here for your senior champion drive. I think all these can really go ahead and do some good. Today for me, I think that's an awful good pair of yearling ewes. They're going to go ahead and be your senior and reserve senior champion today. Congratulations.
Open show senior champion U goes to the first place yearling U 1919, Salem Run 350, Barbie Ain't Misbehavin', Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. The reserve senior champion U was 1918, second in that yearling U class, Raber 108, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. Now ready for intermediate ewe lambs. Intermediate ewe lambs, please.
again, a really nice class, and we got one that just comes out here and kind of wins it pretty handily for me. The biggest down her top, shows me the most elegance through the front third, one that's really sound at the ground. You like the base width. There's just an awful lot of good in this female. Coming to the U here in second, one that I really appreciate, again, in terms of her rib shape, really round in terms of the center portion of her skeleton, really a big top and hip in this one as well. Shows me some added extension up to the front end and really sound at the ground. Come to you here in third, and she really intrigues me quite a bit. I love the length of this female. I think one that's really ideal in terms of her top shape, straightness of lines, one that just not quite as opened up to the center portion of her body compared to the U standing in second, and that was kind of my decision between the two. I think that's an awful close pair right there. Come to the U here in four, really a large outline U, has some rib shape to her, really a big top in this female with some added extension. One that she wants to urinate on herself. I'd like to change that about her if we go ahead and run her up any higher, but an awful nice kind of female. Rounding out the class, some ewes that just shorten up for me compared to the contemporaries ahead of them today, but I think they're built really good. I think they've got some top shape and some good things about them. We just need more of them. Congratulations, nice class.
Our next class is Junior Ewe Lambs. Junior Ewe Lambs is our next class. Placing on the class of intermediate ewe lambs, first place goes to entry 1922, Salmon Run 545, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. That ewe weighed 154. Second, first in the junior portion of the show, 1087, Salmon Run 546, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ewe weighed 137. Third place, second in the junior show, to 1090, Salmon Run 533, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. That ewe weighed 132. Fourth place goes to 6447, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. Fifth place to entry 2334, Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And sixth place to entry 2335, Tim Rhodes.
a really nice class. We get into the junior ewe lambs, and again, we're starting with a really fancy, really extended, stylish kind of a female. Love the balance on this female. I think one that's got a really big top, really long from that 13th on back. She's the best in terms of her balance, in terms of her rib shape. I think they're just a really, really nice female to go ahead and lead off with. I like her a great deal. Coming to the ewe here in second, one that's made really similar to my class winner. Maybe not quite as much of her. She's not quite as big down her top, not quite as opened up, not quite as tall and extended. But I think when you get analyze basic build, really a well-balanced female, one that's really smooth in her lines. You get over top of her and she surprised her. She's got some turn to that rib. I think she's going to have a bright future ahead. Come to you here in three and talk about one that's got some top shape and some power, really opened up, and I appreciate her for all those attributes. She's the heavier, stouter footed featured female out here as well. But one that when we analyze her from the side, she's not quite as true in terms of her lines. I'd like to level her out there over the top side of her skeleton and stretch her out ever so slightly. She percentage is really, really good for her. You put your hands on your loin, you're pleasantly surprised. One that we just need to stretch her out and level her out, though, overall to be able to move her up any higher. Come to the next female, one that I like a lot from the side. I think she's extended. She's got straight in her lines. I think one with some added length. When we get over top of this female, I'd like to open her up. She's the flatter side of the females that are in this top lineup. I'd like to just expand her through the center part of her rib to be able to go ahead and move her higher. We've got a really tall outline sheep here in fifth, and one that I think might have the brighter future down the road. Today for me, again, she's just a little bit narrower, a little bit flatter than what we're finding ahead of her. That's where we're going to go ahead and place them today. A great class of Katahdins. Congratulations.
Once we get the weights on those top three, then we'll go ahead and bring in our pair of ewe lambs. Pair ewe lambs will be your next class. Placing on the class of junior ewe lambs, first place goes to entry 1924 Salmon Run 570 Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. Second place, first in the junior show, to Salmon Run 578 Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio, that ewe weighing 115. Third place to entry number 2336 Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio, that ewe weighing 141. Fourth place, second in the junior show, to Hanchcomb 106 Ma'am, Parker Hanchcomb of New Vineyard, Maine. Fifth place to entry 1923 Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. Sixth place, third in the junior show, to Parker Hanscom of New Vineyard, Maine. Seventh place to entry 6075 Michaela Craffey, Winchendon, Massachusetts. And eighth place to entry 6076 Michaela Craffey. Now ready to show for Open Show Junior Champion and Reserve Junior Champion ewe. Placing on the pair of ewe lambs, first place went to Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. Second place to Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. Third place, Lauren Julian, Mantua, Ohio. 4 to Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. Fifth place to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And sixth place to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts.
I don't need to spend a lot of time out here. I think all four of these are really good in their own right, and kind of just like spitting images of our yearling ewes at a more immature state. Today for me, I think you can go either way and really justify it. Today for me, I think this late ewe lamb, I think she's awful fancy. She's going to go ahead. She's going to be your junior champion. We're going to come up here and use the intermediate for reserve. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Junior Champion ewe goes to entry 1924 out of the Junior Ewe Lamb class. Salmon Run 570, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. The Open Show Reserve Junior Champion is 1922. 1922 from the Intermediate Ewe Lamb class, Salmon Run 545, also Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. Now showing for Open Show Grand and Reserve Grand Champion ewe. In the makeup area at this time to show for Junior Show Champion and Reserve Champion ewe, we're going to need in that makeup area 2220 of Parker Hanscoms, 2221 of Parker Hanscoms. We'll also need 1086 from the Senior Ewe Lamb class of Audrey Julian, 2223 from the Senior Ewe Lamb class of Parker Hanscoms, 1087 of Audrey Julian's of the Intermediate, and 1090 of Lauren Julian from the Intermediate, as well as 1091 of Lauren Julian and 2224 of Parker Hanscoms in the makeup area at this time to be prepared to show for Junior Show Champion and Reserve.
As we come out here for your champion Katahdin female, and we've seen these in class and we've done our divisions. I don't need to take a whole lot of time out here. Compliments to the breeders. I think it was a really good set of sheep all the way through today. That being said, this yearling ewe is awful good. She's going to go ahead and be your overall champion today, and then we're going to come back and we're going to use the junior champion for your reserve ewe. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Grand Champion ewe goes to the Senior Champion ewe, entry 1919 out of the Yearling ewe class. Salmon Run 350, Barbie, Ain't Misbehavin'. Salmon Run Farm, Sabatus, Maine. The Open Show Reserve Grand Champion ewe was our junior champion. Entry 1924 out of the Junior Ewe Lamb class. Salmon Run 570, Salmon Run Farms, Sabatus, Maine. We're now ready to show for Junior Show Champion and Junior Show Reserve Champion ewe. The winner of the Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Junior Show ewe will receive awards sponsored by Salmon Run Farms of Sabatus, Maine. Our Junior Show Champion ewe goes to entry 1087 out of the Intermediate Ewe Lamb class. Salmon Run 546, Audrey Julian, Mantua, Ohio. The Reserve Junior Show Champion ewe was 1024. Coming from the Junior Ewe Lamb class, Salmon Run 5, was 1091. Coming from the Junior Show class, Salmon Run 578. Lauren Julian of Mantua, Ohio. We're now ready for Exhibitor's Flock. Exhibitor's Flock is the next class to come into the ring, please. Our next class is Breeder's Flock. Placing on the exhibitor's flock, first place goes to Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. Second place to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Third place to Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. And fourth place to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts. Again, now ready for Breeder's Flock. Placing on the Breeder's Flock, first place goes to Salmon Run Farms, Sabatis, Maine. Second to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. Third place to Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. And fourth place to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts. We are now ready for Get of Sire. Placing on the Get of Sire class, first place goes to Salmon Run Farms of Sabatus, Maine. Second place to Parker Hanscom, New Vineyard, Maine. Third place to Tim Rhodes, Salem, Ohio. And 4 to Michaela Craffey of Winchendon, Massachusetts. At this time, we need a representative from Salmon Run Farms to the announcer's desk. Our judge today for the Northeast Regional Katahdin Show has been Alex Wolf of Upper Sandusky, Ohio. And congratulations goes out to Salmon Run Farms for winning the Premier Exhibitor and Premier Breeder Awards at today's show. That does conclude our morning show. We'll be back in here at 2 o'clock today with the Northeast Regional Lincoln Show.